right now as we make the decisions for the county and the residents here, God, I pray that you give us guidance and wisdom to seek your will for this county, God. I thank you for the moisture you gave us over the weekend. And I pray safety on the first responders and the military, God, and the people that keep us safe. Please keep them safe where they can go home to their family at the end of the day, God. In Jesus' name I pray, amen.
Amen. I have something.
Oh, you got something?
Okay. The first item on the agenda is our public comment. And I have one participation form signed by Kelly Riddle. Kelly, you want to come up? You have 5 minutes.
Okay. I was here at your last one, brought up about the septics again. All of a sudden now we have forms. Y'all say y'all never heard of us. Y'all have not had any complaints from us. I was at the May 17th meeting at Border. You sat beside me and Ms. Irwin, you sat beside me and wrote stuff down at that time, because I watched you write it down. On June the 23rd, Mark came. It's on your minutes where he talked about the septic. Never was he told anything about a form. Amy Garcia, not Amy, Kim, told him to give her a list. He gave her a list. Now y'all don't know anything about a list. I came on August the 14th. Brought it up again. Still haven't heard from it. You know, y'all had not done anything. When I came last month, you turn around and ask Kirksey, have you heard about any of this? Y'all have heard about our septic problem. We have been, and then you call me and say, well, you have never filled out a form. Found out y'all started the form 2 months ago. So why is it all of a sudden y'all want a form whenever we've been trying to do this since May? Actually, before then. We've had people go with us, look at it. We can't get any response to it. No, and then when Mark came up the other day with the forms filled out, you informed him that, well, if they didn't go by the rules, then we would have to file it in district court. Why would we have to file it in district court? It is a state and county law. It is y'all's responsibility, not ours, to file anything in district court that is against the law for the county. Yes, it is. Because y'all are not providing us with the service of coming out and making people abide by the county and the state law on septic.
Kelly, sorry.
Sorry, but, you know, so Mark took the forms in there, asked them to sign for them that they were getting it. And the first thing they said was, we don't sign for the forms. You're signing for these. So y'all are just passing the bill around and around and around. Either do the job or get somebody that will do the job. I'm sorry, but I'm really upset with all of this because not Amy, but Kim called me and said, well, we've never had a complaint. We don't even have any complaints. And I know Kirksey has emailed. We had people that emailed and they got return receipts on the emails. And y'all are doing nothing about it. We're trying to get our community cleaned up, and we've got gray and black water going everywhere, and illegal septics that leak and everything else. And nobody seems to want to do anything. And that's why I'm going to stop right there on the septics, y'all. Y'all heard my piece on it. My second thing is, all we hear from y'all is, y'all can't fix our roads because we're private. Y'all can't give us law enforcement because we're private. But y'all can take my tax money and not do a thing to help me. We've got people down there that are racing up and down our streets. No, we can't do it. We have loose dogs that are packed together again. No leash law. But, you know, they're biting people. They're chasing people. They've tried to pull dogs off of people's golf carts. And y'all do nothing about it. And we're getting kind of sick of it. And the thing is, if we retaliate by shooting one of these dogs or anything, the people that own them will come after our animals. So something needs to be done. I know at one point, they were checking to make sure they were all vaccinated. And they're not doing that anymore. At first, there was like 2 or 3. Now they've got a pack of over 6, and they tend to hang out at 2 places and a known method houses. So something needs to be done about that. But I'm paying my taxes and I get no law enforcement, I get no road repair, I get nothing from y'all. And we are county roads because we are registered with the county. So we should at least get something for our taxes. And I do know that at the sale the other day, we had some properties that sold. One property was listed at $1,800 as the beginning bid. It sold for over $10,000. So I don't know what you do with that extra money, but it was in our community. We had several that were in our community that were listed under $2,000 that sold for over $5,000 to $10,000. So our community brought in that money. They need some support from this county.
Okay. Thank you, Kelly. Okay, the next item on the agenda is item 3, consider and or approve minutes from the previous commissioners court meeting.
No corrections or additions to the regular meeting on January 22nd, 2024.
Do I hear a motion?
I'll make a motion. We approve the minutes.
So
A motion and second. Any further discussion? All in favor? Okay. Item 4, consider and or approve the county auditor's tabulated report to the commissioners court. Any questions about the report Lisa sent? Or do I hear a motion?
I move to accept the tabulated report as presented.
I'll second it.
Motion and second. Any further discussion? All in favor? Okay. All right, any questions on the bills? Okay, I have one thing that I need some clarification on before we approve this part, and it's on the sheriff's bills that were sent in for the tractor supply for the dog house. Can you address that?
Yes, ma'am. The purchase of the doghouse, due to the inclement weather that we just had, where it got below freezing, a doghouse was purchased for canine Elsa, for the moment. The times that she was outside, that way she wasn't freezing. So
So what'd you do prior to
well,
buying the $200 and some doghouse?
prior to that, she was inside almost exclusively, but I did, with it being so cold and, situations with my children, I just needed the ability to put her somewhere where she would be, warm when she had to be out. It's unexpected how long it would take her to use the restroom and do certain things like that. That was the primary purpose. I believe there was pine shavings as well as the doghouse.
Yes, yeah, I see that. I guess my concern is the fact that tomorrow is your last day.
Yes, ma'am.
And we have the issue with you wanting to take the dog with you, which we'll discuss later. But less than a month ago, you bought a doghouse.
Yes, ma'am. At that time, that wasn't, I didn't know that I was leaving at that time. Also, until speaking with Commissioner Brock, I believe, just a moment ago, if there's any item such as that needs to be purchased from the county, that is something that I'm willing to do as well.
Okay.
I think, and I did ask him that before because I noticed that too. But I think if we approve this, then they would have to go out for auction or, right? Because it's county owned property. We can't just sell it to
I see.
him. So if that's something you're gonna, I might be wrong, but if that's something that you're wanting to take with you, we probably shouldn't approve that and then you reimburse it that way.
If you want to purchase that house, I would not approve
The bill.
the bill and you just take it up. That would be my thought.
Because that does tie us up into having to auction it off, right?
Right.
And just.
Because it's county owned property. Yeah. Anybody else have anything on the bills? Okay. Does anyone want to make a motion to pay with that exception?
I'll make a motion to pay the bills excluding the.
The bill for the doghouse? Okay, is that, do I hear a second on that?
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion and second to pay the bills as presented, excluding the bill for for the tractor supply for the doghouse.
The doghouse has already been paid for.
It was put on the tractor supply credit card or whatever y'all have,
Yes, that is.
credit account.
Okay, if it's already been paid for, then
It hasn't been, we're approving it.
it was put on the credit card.
Right, it's a,
The credit
this
card
is, this is Leisha.
Go ahead, Leisha.
We have, I mean, it was put on the Tractor Supply credit card. We have not paid that credit card bill. So what we could do is include a personal check from him, or he could reimburse the county for the amount to pay the credit card bill.
If we move forward with the motion as presented.
Right.
Okay, so we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion on that? All in favor? Okay. All right. All right, item 7, consider and or approve payroll.
We have total payroll wages, $653,959.85. The payables were $263,801.40, which comes to a total of $917,761.25 for January 31st payroll.
Okay, do I hear a motion to approve payroll?
I move to approve payroll as presented.
I'll second it.
Motion and second. Any further discussion? All in favor? Okay, item 8 is to consider and or approve the interlocal agreement for lease of election equipment between Hutchinson County and Spring Creek.
Yes, this is for the May 4th, 2024 uniform election for municipalities. They are going to rent one machine from us. It will be a total of $300 for that machine.
Okay, do I hear a motion?
Move to approve the interlocal agreement for the lease of election equipment between Hutchinson County and Spring Creek ISD.
A second.
Motion and second. Any further discussion?
I was wondering if the school's gonna consolidate with Border, where will they vote? Same place? Keep that building up just to vote again?
I have no idea.
I was curious.
Would you know, Kelly?
I believe for this election, it will be there in their precinct there at Spring Creek at the school is where they will be voting, but it will be in that precinct.
But I don't know what.
What
for the
going
future.
forward.
That precinct may go into another one. Okay. I was just curious. Thank you.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Chris,
What?
you,
Do I second?
I seconded it.
okay,
Yeah.
thank you, sorry, I'm sorry.
All right, item 9 is to consider and or approve the racial profiling report from Constable Precinct 2. Any questions about that report? Not like I could answer them, maybe. But do I hear a motion? This, this is that yearly report that they have to do to send into the state every year.
I'll make a motion that we approve the racial profiling report from the Constable Precinct.
Motion and second. Any further discussion? All in favor? All right, item 10 is to consider and or approve the purchase of K9 Elza by Deputy Mangus. You want to come up here and present your information?
Judge, I sent, I believe Laura sent over an email.
Yes, and everyone's got a
Okay,
copy of
everyone
it.
has a
Yeah.
copy.
Sorry, I just got it out this morning, but
No problem.
everybody's got a copy.
So first, I want to thank y'all for allowing me to come in and speak with you today. Elza was born in 2019. She's going to be turning 5 years old this year, which puts her at the midpoint of her service life. It's with genuine concern for her well-being that I approach you today with this presentation because it combines both personal and professional considerations. There's currently no deputy that's willing or desires to take over as her handler, so her future is of great concern to me. It's currently planned that if I'm unable to secure her purchase, she will be boarded at the High Plains Veterinary Clinic for the foreseeable future. I don't have written down right here, but that's a rate of roughly $25 a day to board. That's a prospect that will be counterproductive to her ability to be utilized in the future as her current training monthly exceeds 16 hours per month. During our time together, we have developed a bond between a handler and canine, and that's not something that's easily transferable. The disruption that's caused by introducing a new handler can be emotionally challenging for the dog as well as counterproductive. Whenever I took Elza over, she had to be retrained from scratch. All of her narcotics training started all over again. And then I went to a separate handler school where I worked with her as well. With the accrued compensatory time of $3,602.48 that I currently have, I'm seeking approval to formalize the purchase of Elza from the council. This proposition is driven not only by my deep connection with the dog, but also a sincere belief that I can offer her both emotional fulfillment and to be fiscal prudent. Assuming ownership of Elza would entail assuming full responsibility of her care, including financial aspects such as vet bills, canine care, boarding, and quality nutrition. By undertaking this responsibility, the county would be alleviated of potential future expenses related to canine care, thus contributing to financial efficiency. Right now, since there's not any current applicants that I know of that are applying at the sheriff's office, there's no telling how long she'll have to be boarded. Belgian Malinois are pack animals and they bond usually with one person. The idea of her being in a small kennel for an extended period of time, she's going to lose that drive to go work. That sends a dog into a lot of emotional distress. If the county does want to employ another handler in addition to Deputy Estrada, there are other options. There's grants available that allow the purchase of the dog as well as training for the handler at one time. And whenever that's done, that's usually the best way because the dog starts from the beginning with the same handler and it never loses that bond. I did have a breakdown on the second page of the her annual food bill comes out to approximately $753.87. Annual canine care paid out in compensatory time is $5,328. What that means basically is the Department of Labor has set forth a standard in which canine care is provided by the deputy while at home. So feeding, grooming, bathing, walking the dog, keeping up with, any training that may happen while there, that's considered time that's billable time. Veterinary cost, which is $200,000. Her annual cost to keep the dog at the county is roughly $6,370.87. In support of other law enforcement officers, this does not include my own deployment with her, since I'm with her every day, but she's assisted in 27 other deployments year to date. That's other agencies in Hudson County asking for a canine to be deployed. That's not total for the entire county, as Deputy Estrada splits that with me, so I'm not sure what his numbers are. That's just the recorded numbers for Elza. So if you were to break that down into what that means is it basically costs the county $235.95 every time Elza's been requested. Does that make sense to you? Since she's been on 27 deployments. down below, I did just include a short explanation of what her future costs could be. Retraining and handler certification is approximately $2,100, and if she was boarded for only 60 days, which I think it's gonna be much longer than that since there's no current prospects, that would be $1,488. One thing that I do want to mention is with her being at the midway point at her life, her veterinary cost is only gonna go up. Blue sky, she's got 4 years left in service, but there's no telling with if barring no health issues, if it's just physical, you never know how long an animal's able to go. So that's pretty well what I have for you today.
So the deployments since January 1 of this year.
No, I'm sorry. No, calendar year. So this was sent over to you, I believe, last week.
Yes, but it says year to year.
I'm
to
sorry,
date.
I wrote that incorrectly. Whenever I said year to date, I meant calendar year. Well, I'm
So all of last year,
all of last.
she was deployed 27 times.
Correct. And like I say, I'm not sure what Deputy Estrada's numbers are on that.
And when you took the dog over from the previous trainer,
Yes.
was there a fee to retrain the dog?
No, the previous trainer is the chief deputy at Gray County where I'd worked previously. So he was willing to take the dog in and retrain. So that there was not a fee.
And when you went to the handler school?
The handler school, that was also mixed in with certification. So that was a 40-hour, school that was paid for by PRPC. So that was.
So they picked up all the expenses for that?
They did. That's correct.
Any questions? So you're requesting that did I read this right? You're requesting that your comp hours that you've accrued
Yes, ma'am.
go towards the purchase of the
Yes, ma'am, that is correct.
dog? And you say roughly that's 3,602.48?
Yes, ma'am, that's. Barring that nothing happens and I don't accrue any additional comp time, in the next 48 hours.
Have you accrued any comp time since January 21st?
I believe that I'm gonna fall about 2 hours short unless there's a call that takes, unless it comes.
Your
up
last
tonight
day
or
is tomorrow?
Yes, I am on shift tonight as
Mhm.
well as tomorrow night. So unless something holds me over, then I
Right.
won't be, but we are close to that mark. And if we did go over that mark, then that, whatever that amount would be, I would want to throw into this, but I, for the purposes of putting things on paper, I didn't want to.
Right.
Over.
Yeah, I realize that's just an estimate.
I don't know, what the laws are payroll wise. I don't know.
We can't just make a
Yeah,
exchange.
that's
We
what I
have to
was
pay you your comp time.
Yes.
Yes,
Yeah, I knew we couldn't do labor for good kind of thing.
right.
Use the dog.
Any questions? Y'all have any questions for deputy? Thoughts?
I mean, the first time you were separated, I mean, there's a concern about the dog safety and where it was then. So I mean, that's gonna come up again when you took your departure again. So, I mean, in the foreseeable future, I don't see anybody stepping up and taking that. So I don't have in the interest of the dog, we talked about this with Gloria's departure. I mean, the interest of the dog's already been retrained and there is a bond for a handler and a dog. So, I mean, that having to do that to the dog, that was a second time, like second and a half, third time almost.
Right.
I mean, it's getting to the part where I just want to say, I don't know what the depreciation on the dog asset is as far as being 5 years in, but I mean,
Sure.
it doesn't sound unreasonable to me to just say we're in good hands and know that you said in here that, if because Estrada owns his dog, so if
Correct.
something happens where he's not here anymore, you did say while you're at Gray County that you would have a willingness to come over if you're available
Absolutely.
and still deploy Elza here. So I mean,
Yes, sir. And while Elza was prior to her being certified with me as her handler, I would call upon Gray County who responded multiple times to my requests. So there's absolutely no issue there. When it comes to me and Elza, it's really, the county will still get the same benefit without the cost of having the care.
that's where I stand.
I'm unclear, like,
I'm fine with that agreement. I mean, we pay, because I don't know the value of a 5-year-old
sorry,
dog. I mean, I'm fine with
with the,
paying him his comp time, he pays for the doghouse.
but
and-
no recompensation for the dog?
I
Just
don't know.
let him take the
I
dog?
don't- I mean, a dog at half of its age, retiring out in 5 years, I don't know what the.
Yeah, I have no
don't know what
idea.
That's what I'm saying, like a depreciation.
I don't know how you put it.
I mean, I know what we've spent.
I can tell you that in my research, speaking with a judge with the NNDDA, which is the National Narcotic Dog Association. Right now, with a lot of agencies, whenever they go get a new dog, they get a grant as well. That's part of what the vendor puts together whenever they give the total package together. And for a single purpose dog, meaning not a bite dog, they're single scope, such as narcotics detection. It comes out to around $4,500. And that's from they get the dog from 2 years old and they have that dog throughout their career. I wanted, the money isn't important to me, the dog's important to me. So that's why I didn't want to come in and say, hey, I'll give you half of this or what. I want to throw everything I can at it because I care about the dog.
And I based that loose. I mean, we paid 7,500 for it.
Yes,
And it's half. He's given half of his law enforcement life here, so 3,600. I mean, that's about half of the purchase price. So I don't know how we can nickel and dime. I mean, I'm fine personally with that. I just don't
I'm fine with that too.
want more.
I have no problem with that.
Yeah, if he's only got, 9-year-old dog, that's getting pretty old, might not be able to function right. He's over half his life, really, working life.
Any more questions for Deputy?
You say they do retire at about 10, right? 10.
Yes, sir, 9, 10, just depending on their hips and their. That is correct.
And she is in pretty good health.
She seems to be, there's been no issues she's had.
Good.
So,
Good.
Gotcha.
So Amy, how we have to do it, I mean, we just pay him and we just say he just,
We will go through payroll, so it will be tax, of course. It'll go in his paycheck.
Yeah.
Direct deposited, at the end of this month, like everybody else's payroll.
For the comp time.
Yes,
Mhm.
for the comp. So it will be included all together with your salary, your research. So all that will be paid out at the end of this month, so.
so then what we would do, I guess.
And then he'll have to come in and make, a check, a cashier's check, or probably be the best thing.
For the doghouse,
For the dog, yeah.
yeah, which was $209.99.
And the dog.
And the dog.
I thought you,
would that need to be two
I
separate?
thought you also gave the dog too.
Oh, no.
I
Saying the
believe
three.
3602.
will be separated out, but
So that's what you're saying?
Yes.
I was,
Two separate.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
confused about what you were
That's what
saying.
that's what he wanted to do. We were paying him
If you'll,
his comp time and then he's gonna turn around and write us a check back for that amount plus the dog house.
Yeah.
And then he,
Okay,
Correct.
I got it. Okay. So any further discussion on that? Any more questions for him? If not, do I hear a motion?
You gotta include the
Yeah.
doghouse too in the motion.
yeah,
It's $209.99 for the doghouse.
moved to approve and that.
Would y'all be
That
fine with
wasn't-
$3,500?
Yeah, just make.
Just make it a round amount?
I don't, at this point, I just want the dog in a safe hands. But how is that as far as asset transfer?
Do what?
how is that as far as like asset transfer?
When some, I
Where did the money
believe
go?
when somebody leaves and they have first choice to take whatever, like like we sold service revolvers.
Yeah.
You
I get that. I meant like, where does this money go to the general fund now going forward on those purchases?
what was the question?
Back in, does this money go back
There's
into
a
the general
3,500.
fund?
It just depends on where y'all want, if y'all want to put it back into the K-9, put it back in the sheriff's department. It depends on where y'all want to put it.
And this is Leisha. So the revenue from the dog will have to go into just like a miscellaneous revenue. And then as commissioners, you can agree to do a budget amendment to the K-9 line item if you want, but if we don't have a K-9, there's no need for additional money in the K-9 line item.
Right,
So it would just go into the general fund.
right. Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Oh, do you have something, Marcel?
Still do have.
Right. Yes, we have Estrada's K-9.
Just for the bacon.
And,
Oh,
and
yeah,
the
but
county's
there's
paying
already
for the expense.
budgeted amounts for that.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, because what was in the budget was budgeted for 2. We shouldn't go over that, I would hope.
Yeah, when we're selling something that was purchased out of a previous year, I'd put it in the general fund.
Okay. Any other questions, comments? Are we ready for a motion?
So I move to approve the purchase of K9 by Deputy Mangus in the amount of $3,500, along with the purchase of the doghouse tractor supply in the amount of $209.99. That's.
Yeah, sounds good. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion on that? All in favor?
Thank y'all so much.
Right, great, thank you. 209.99. All right, the next item on the agenda is to consider and or approve resolution authorizing the submission of applications for the Senate Bill 22 grant. So this has been all over my listserv. That the court needs to do a resolution just to authorize that, like, kind of like we do any other grant. And so there was a sample on the listserv. Jim Allison said, yeah, it looks okay to him. I sent it to Craig, but Craig has a couple of things he wants to adjust on that. So I would entertain a motion to just table this, and we'll work on this and get Craig's legal opinion and bring this back to the court at the next meeting.
I'll make a motion. We table it.
Thank you.
I'm second.
Motion and second. Any further discussion? All in favor? Okay. All right, item 12, consider and or approve the TAC SIRA agreement. This is our agreement with TAC to provide, well, we're not doing email with them anymore, but they are doing our website. And that's the only thing we are getting from the TAC SIRA right now. It's just the website host. And Craig did look at that agreement and doesn't have an issue with it. Can hear a motion.
Move to approve the SIRA agreement.
Okay, we have motion and second. Any further discussion? All in favor? All right, item 13, consider and or approve charging a rental fee for the Friction Border Library Club rooms. Nancy? Yeah.
So, looking at the overall picture, so we provide, toilet paper, paper towels, mop heads, the trash bags, and of course, the price of everything is increasing. Also, whoever does the renting is supposed to clean, well, especially ours over in the.
So whoever's using the room
Yes,
is required to clean it before they leave.
correct. The floor is starting to, definitely, it's wear and tear on it. But, just trying to offset, and then of course, we've got the cost of the utilities as well. So, that's coming out of our taxpayer money, but, really the people that actually rent it, don't pay per se to rent it. They just have to leave $100 deposit for cleaning. But, then, we're paying for them to use it essentially. So I know, that it was brought to my attention that we used to charge $100 for the burger club room. So I'm proposing, like, maybe.
So when did we charge? And why did we stop? Do you know?
Don't know.
No.
That's a good question, but I'm sure find out. But, no, that was due to your weather.
Well, maybe
From
maybe
previous.
when we had to not, it wasn't available to us because we were having all that work done.
Oh, that was when the wall fell.
Yes.
Yeah.
Maybe,
so I think that.
and then when we
since
started it back up, maybe we
yeah,
didn't.
Just.
I don't know the history on that.
Yes. So, what I was proposing was, as Dwight and I had talked about it, maybe $50 for the fridge club room, and then maybe 75 for the border club room. And then they still have to, and that's non-refundable. But, and I know I talked with Leisha about maybe rolling that back into, the maintenance of, each facility. So, the rooms.
For most of the time when people rent the club room and fridge, they do a pretty good job, but we do know there was one or two occasions where they used all of our cleaning supplies to clean, which usually uses us. We could use that for 2 months. They
Right.
used it in one big swoop
Yeah.
to clean up because they use all of our equipment to clean, our buckets,
Mhm.
our mops, all of our brooms and stuff. And so there's a little bit of wear and tear on those things. And we're not trying to make any money. We're just trying to offset our overhead on these costs. With the fridge library, I don't know anything about the border one.
And I think it's the same with border, they're supposed to provide the cleaning, I guess, chemical, to like mop the floor. Well, you can tell they would, I'm sure, just forget to bring it. So, I started providing it. Whether it be, that we did it from our budget, but then I know there's been multiple times, I just went and bought the cleaner because I would rather have a decent looking floor than, it just, you throw water on it and it looked horrendous. So anyway, that's what I was proposing.
Any questions, comments, or motions?
Can I speak on something?
Yes, ma'am.
So I had spoke with Nancy about putting this money back into the budget, but because this is basically a rental fee, it will have to be recorded as rental income. And then we could either do a monthly budget amendment and put it back into where we're paying it, or we could just let this accumulate for this budget year and then put it into the next budget. And to kind of get into that rotation, well,
Mhm.
in this previous year, we collected $500, so we'll add $500 to the maintenance or the, janitor supplies or whatever, rather than having to try to do a budget amendment every time it's used.
Yes.
Oh, absolutely. We want to make it as easy as what we can.
I think it would be fine for now to just do, like you said, if we approve this and put that into the rental income. If we need to make an amendment, we can, or a transfer over there to their line item. If y'all are running short, we can do it then, but until then, I think we would be okay.
How often do these get rented out? I don't know.
Sometimes a lot,
Yeah.
like the burger one, probably more than the fridge one.
Huh?
I get my reports.
Yeah, I don't.
Probably like twice.
Like, since the first of the year,
It's
it's been rented
Every
every
weekend.
weekend,
Mhm.
with the exception, I think, of 2 weekends. Now, we always block it off for the fall and spring book sale. So we usually block it off for a couple of months. But it gets rented all the time.
There's lots of baby showers, Ben.
Yes.
Yeah, it's.
I hear y'all
You
talking
need to
about it,
start
but
going to
I don't really, how many times is that, really?
Yeah.
Minimum, it's twice a month minimum.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
on a
that's-
slow.
The average is not that much.
Yeah.
I don't think $75 is too much. People pay that.
And Fritz is a lot smaller and the
Oh.
Borger one has more to offer than the Fritz
We use the fridge.
club room,
Ah,
but
yeah.
it's they have more surface area than we do at the Fritz one. So, but it's been very useful. And Chris, when we briefly talked about it on the phone, whenever that was Friday, he made a comment that he really, I feel like I'm talking for you. I don't mean to say that.
I can say whatever.
Here's Chris. He definitely, we don't want our citizens to feel like they have to pay for something when they're already paying tax dollars. But we do have some overhead, and as everyone knows, as Nancy stated, the cost of supplies are getting higher and higher. And we don't want
Point of asking that is, like, most people do a good job cleaning up and they do great. It's
most,
just,
yeah.
so
Well, I did reach
they're
out.
getting penalized because of the few that don't.
Oh, no,
I just-
they're just using our equipment.
It's just our supplies.
Yeah, they're using our supplies.
Yeah.
Most,
But I reached out to a lot of my area judge friends just to ask them about county buildings and did they rent them? And every one of them said, yes, they do charge a fee, but it's not a nominal fee just to help with the cleaning supplies, or if they pay someone to come in and clean or whatever.
Yeah.
Because not all the taxpayers use it, there's just a few.
yeah, right.
I don't think it's enough that'll matter.
So-
Well,
And
the,
Kelly
I think-
uses the Fridge Club room for voting, so
We'll charge Kelly personally.
we wouldn't charge the county to use their own county,
No, no.
correct? Okay.
Just Kelly personally.
Right.
Not really.
This is a real big deal.
No.
That's
Well,
the
the
last
one-
time you're using my building.
Go ahead, Leisha.
sorry, will the $100 deposit still be charged as well?
It's refundable, so providing, they don't trash anything out and do a good
Right.
job of cleaning, then
Okay, I
they can
just-
get that back.
Yeah, I just wanted clarification that it would be the $75 non-refundable plus the 100 refundable.
Yes.
So we're also gonna have to talk about the 75 is not gonna be, like, so what happens if so what are they gonna pay when they rent it, the whole thing? And then when they cancel it, they only get the refundable back, or, because City of
Get out of
Borger,
that.
City of Borger does half the rental fee plus the refundable, and then if you
So if
cancel
they
it,
cancel after booking
if you
it,
cancel it before 7 days, like more than 7
Right.
days, you get the half back. Less than 7 days, you don't get the half back, and then you pay the other half. So I mean, we've got to talk about that too.
Well, normally the way that, when they pay is when they come in, reserve the room, then they sign the contract, and that's when they leave their deposit. So it's usually, just a few days. We go ahead and kind of pencil them in, and then, they come in the week of the rental for that weekend. And then that's when they leave us, the $100 and sign the contract.
I don't think that they would need to pay for it all when they rented it.
Like a deposit, maybe put their deposit down, and then the day of the rental. Or that's how the city of Sonnet does it. You just pay it that day or before that day.
But what if it's on the weekend?
Well, you have to pay before, on working days.
So the day they get the key could be the day that they would
They
pay.
have to.
Okay.
I would like to suggest, since this is new and it's not like an emergency, that we work out a
Like a newer contract,
Yes.
and maybe get
And-
Craig involved with that. to
I
make-
have a suggestion. Since everybody in the county is used to paying the $100 anyway, what if they still just paid the $100? And if they rent it, then you just refund $25 or $50 instead of the whole 100.
That would be the
So,
same thing. I think that would be fine.
I mean, I would be fine with that, but we kind of need to work out how we do that on the cash report. Because, right now, we've got club rent, so they put 100 in it. And then how to offset that, somehow with the, I guess, with the payout.
Well, and the only thing that might come up is if they did trash it, then we wouldn't be able to get the $100 deposit. So that might not be the best
Right.
way to
True.
I'd
handle
like
it.
to keep it separate.
Yeah, true.
I think it would be a bit easier, especially for our accounting, to, have them separate. And then, essentially they're getting, everything back with you.
So what I recommend is basically, I think when you and I talked was just to see if the commissioners would be okay with it.
Yes.
Then we can work on the semantics of the details on that. Because Chris and I, those are kind of our responsibilities. If something's broke, we have to fix them. So,
Yeah, and I didn't know about this until the agenda got sent out.
man,
Well, I was
Um,
trying to get over there.
The price of 75, it might be too much. How did you come to that? As far as.
I think
I
it's,
think, well,
Fine.
we used to charge 100, so that's why I thought 75 should be, ample to cover, because really, they can get in there Friday, and start setting up, and then they have it Saturday, Sunday, and they generally bring, the key back on Monday. So kind of $25 a day. And I'm okay with changing it, if you'd like more or less, that's fine.
Oh, I didn't say I want to change. I was just asking where, if you compared to border rentals or anything like that. But yeah, I'm open to it.
I'm just not sold on the charging a fee for this because it's like any other service we give to the taxpayers. I mean, it could be anything else. We'll charge them for blading roads, or we'll charge them for this or charge them for that. This is service we always provided.
That's what I mentioned too, when I said, because.
I'm not sold on this.
Look into it more though, but yeah.
Yeah, I think it needs to be more thought given to this, because it's like any other service we give, it's like, are we gonna start charging for everything?
Yeah, that's what I mentioned. Regardless.
That's our business, giving services back to the taxpayers. That's what we do.
Yeah.
And I'm okay with it either way.
so you all want to table this and get some more information? Get a little bit more information on if we do decide to do the, charge a fee, working on getting a better contract, explanations on the contract on what's to be paid and when. Okay, do I hear a motion to table?
I move to table this item for further investigation and research.
Hear a second? Okay. Motion and second. Any further discussion? All in favor? Okay. All right, item 14, consider and or approve the train service agreement. This is our agreement with train to service the chiller, right, Ben?
Yeah, this is the annual agreement.
Yeah.
For train. Very expensive.
It's very
For what we're
expensive
getting out of it, except we haven't found anybody else any cheaper, so.
and they're about the only ones that can work on that stuff, aren't they?
No, they're not the only ones. There's other people that can work on it, but not any better than what we got. And this only covers, pumps, the fluid in the four-pipe system. It doesn't cover all the units. It did help us out this year with we had a leak in the basement, and that helped tremendously. It paid part of its way. And they come in and put all the fluid back in and fixed it all. I think it's a necessary evil. I think I'd recommend doing it, but it's very expensive.
I was gonna ask you, since it's over the 10,000, do we have to get bids on any of the other ones? There's no one.
There's no bids to go.
Okay, good.
This is train.
Yeah.
They pretty much protect everything they got. You can only buy from them. I mean, the service is one thing, but if you need parts or anything else, it's got to come. For the most part.
Okay, do I hear a motion?
I make a motion to approve the agreement with Train for $19,032 for a 1-year contract.
I'll second.
A motion and second. Any further discussion? All in favor? Right, item 15 is to consider and or approve appointments of the county auditor and assistant county auditor. Got these orders from the district judges this week, so it's just kind of a formality. Your motion.
I move to approve the appointment of the auditor. Do we say their name? And the assistant auditor?
Okay, motion and second. Any further discussion? All in favor? Item 16 is to consider and or approve any ARP grant projects. I did not have any. 17, consider and or approve the burn ban or rescind the burn ban. Forgot to ask Jerry. He's sick today. But I'm assuming since we have moisture and last time the moisture was at like 30. Guess we're fine still. So no. You got it?
We're an average of 42.
42? Okay, so no change. Item 18, consider and or approve disposal of obsolete office equipment. I have some monitors from the sheriff's department and some a printer fax, laser jet printer, and a signature stamp from JP2. Do I hear a motion?
I move to dispose of the 3 items listed.
There's more than 3.
Oh. Sorry.
There's the sheriff's
Oh,
office
that was
has
just
4
yes.
and JP has
All the items that are listed.
perfect. Okay, we have a motion second. Any further discussion? All in favor? Item 19, accept certificates of completion from elected or appointed officials.
Okay, I had Alicia Craig, auditor, submitted certificate of successful completion of Texas Disaster Accounting 101 and certificate of successful completion of 2023-2024 tax cybersecurity awareness training. Then Amy Back, treasurer, submitted certificate of successful completion of Texas Disaster Accounting 101. Kelly Ratliff, county clerk, submitted successful completion of 2023-2024 tax cybersecurity awareness training. And that's what I've got.
Okay, thank you. Item 20, consider and or approve request for use of the club rooms at the Border Library or Fridge. Please pay attention.
So May 11th, there's a baby shower scheduled.
Another break share.
Congratulations.
It's a lot of them.
Anything at
I
Fridge?
just have one party and then the
Early voting.
early voting, which we've already approved.
Okay. All right, do I hear a motion to accept those reservations for the club rooms?
I move to approve the reservations for the club rooms as presented.
Second.
Motion and second. Any further discussion? All in favor? Okay. All right, item 21, consider and or approve line item changes, transfers, and or budget amendments. Alicia, do you have anything besides what you noticed? Yes?
I had 2 line item transfers, one from the 84th District Court, just to cover the additional expenses for training the court administrator, and then one for IT for some repairs on a vehicle.
This vehicle, the one they got from the sheriff's department,
You what?
the vehicle that we had the repairs done on.
The Tahoe?
It's the Tahoe.
Is that the one that we had the transmission redone on?
Had it replaced again.
So,
Warranty,
oh, it was on under warranty.
100%. $380 for something that wasn't covered.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, do I hear a motion to accept those line item changes and transfers?
I'll make a motion to accept the changes.
Motion and second. Any further discussion? All in favor? All right, item 22, consider and or approve advertising, opening, accepting, or awarding bids. We have some bids. We should have received a copy of those, Dwayne. I think we've got them. We did.
Okay, this is to replace one of our four-door trucks. We haven't got two bids. One from Duncan Chevrolet, one from Country Chevrolet. The bid from Duncan Chevrolet is quite a bit higher. You notice they do have that truck in stock. That's the reason we bid it. It has a lot of equipment on there that we did not specify. With the budget that I'm working under and the other piece of equipment I need to buy, I have to wait to buy the one from Country Chevrolet. It will have to be ordered. So my recommendation would be to buy the trucks from Country Chevrolet, and we'll just order it and wait on it. And I don't know what y'all want to do about the three.
They give you a timeline.
It's,
Long down.
Yeah.
is that the bid from Country Chevrolet?
Yes, sir.
The 46,615.
This looks like it was written on a napkin or something. This is a handwritten, that's not a bid. It doesn't have. a bid.
They submitted a letter, a typed letter, because I reached out to them. Oh, wait, no, they just put it on. I'm sorry, you're right. They did just handwrite it, but on letterhead.
Yeah, on the letterhead.
Yeah, that's,
I mean, it is a
there's
bid.
no list
They can
price
do it.
there. There's no anything. You compare vehicles by going off list price, and I don't see the list price on there. So I will not, I won't do it.
I'm not gonna pay $8,000 more just because they didn't type it out though.
I would get some quotes that are, show the vehicle and show the list prices and, you know,
In the past, they presented us an official bid. Why is this one handwritten?
I think the last one was too. I don't know. I didn't see it until it was that. It's just,
and the one from Stratford, it's right off list price. That's list. And then the trade-in on them is below wholesale.
So an option is to deny both and rebid it. You have to go through the sealed bid process again and see if they, actually submit documentation. I'm kind of with Ben. It doesn't show any of the specs of the vehicle. So you really don't
When you
know.
compare vehicles, you go off list and see what the equipment is, and you compare list to list and see what you do. There's not even a list price listed on this. So how do you know you're comparing apples to apples?
I don't know if it just says on theirs that they met all of our specifications.
Yeah, when we went out for the request, we gave the specs.
Yeah.
So I mean, if
This vehicle meets all specifications.
You don't understand. How do you know you're comparing apples to apples and you don't have a list price on one of them?
I know not. They told me that this one from,
mindset.
they told me that this one from Duncan is way more than
bid.
Then that's my point. You're not comparing apples to apples, so it's not a bid.
So the one,
You got the one for 58,000 from one place that's got a lot more equipment on it than the one from Country Chevrolet. That's not apples to apples. And they didn't put the list price on the one from Country Chevrolet, so how do you know what you're comparing here? I have no clue what you're comparing.
It's kind of on the dealership to. Duncan added extra equipment above our stuff.
Yeah, they had that truck in stock.
because they have it in stock.
Yeah, that's.
And if it's not comparable, so go get a bid from somebody else that is comparable. Those aren't the only two places around the bid.
I did reach out to a few dealerships in Amarillo because by Wednesday before they were going to be open, we had received 0 bids. So I started emailing dealerships to invite them to bid, and these are the only 2 that we received.
We can't make these people bid.
They usually won't bid against somebody in our county.
Said that again and again. We can reach out to them and offer it to them, but we can't make them submit us a bid.
That's, you can get on the phone, you can work on it, yeah.
Alicia did
I
that.
disagree with that.
How many times are you gonna call them? She just said she called several in Amarillo.
Like I said, we can deny both bids and we can rerun it.
Did we?
And-
But there's not,
I did not, I just went out for bids.
because we've done that in the past, haven't we?
Vehicles are, they're pretty much non-existent, but. Yeah, we've always bought our trucks locally. We've always bid our pickups. We've never bought pickups.
Okay, so buy board, you just go with the big stuff and then the fleet truck.
Yeah, the bigger
Okay.
stuff we buy from buy board, you're correct.
Okay, so what's y'all's pleasure? You want to rebid it? Thoughts?
I honestly would love to see more of a professional presented bid moving forward.
Well, my thing goes back to the same old thing is if you go compare bids, compare apples to apples. And you don't even have a list price on this one vehicle, how do you know what you're comparing? So,
Is there any way we can ask them to,
Is this 51,615 not the list price? Ben?
nope,
Oh, that's the sales price after discounts?
can we just ask them to
Well,
send a
they
better
have to
bid?
meet whatever our minimum
we can't.
specifications are.
I mean, we're talking about problems we have with the people submitting bids, not with what we're doing here.
So they have to meet our minimum specifications, which we published.
Right.
And so we are assuming that Country did that. But-
when you send a bid in, you put the specification in the bid. And you show what you're bidding.
So what are you wanting? I'm confused. Are you wanting to pay more or you want to deny both?
I'm going to deny both, I'm not voting for this, so I'm out.
I guess we need,
I'm not gonna pay more.
if
that's for
Duncan's
sure.
gonna submit us a bid, they need to follow our request for proposal,
to show-
which would mean that they're gonna have to order the vehicle in also.
Yes.
Right.
We need to put some effort into it and show us what we're voting on here.
So,
Because in the past, I mean, like we throw out Duncan's because they didn't meet, I mean, they might have met the specs, but it's on top of it. But we've thrown them out we've thrown other bidders out, not having just the right specs.
Or not meeting specifications.
But like, if Duncan doesn't meet our specs, then yeah, don't bring it to us, let's compare.
they do, but they've also got added features on there. They've exceeded our specifications
Just because they.
because it's on the lot
They need
and
to
you could
truck
get it.
right now.
Yes,
They're doing that they said they're doing that with a lot of patrol vehicles.
yeah, because hey, we've got something on the lot. You can drive it home tomorrow.
But see, the thing is, if you have one that lists for 5,000 more and you're willing to pay for that extra equipment, okay, but.
Well, I think that's the case with the Duncan vehicle, right?
Yeah, it
Yeah.
exceeds what we asked.
Yeah.
But the one that Country bid, they said on there that,
So using that as a comparison, it's not fair.
it just says, this is the price for a 2,500 4x4 built to the specifications of the county. That's what their bid says exactly.
I would throw them
And in
all out, start over.
in the past, Country has submitted an actual, spec sheet, where it lists out what exactly you're gonna get. This is the first one that we've ever gotten that was handwritten.
Well, then
So is it your thoughts then to start the process over? And make sure that Country gives us a handwritten, or I mean that
reach out,
one that
reach out to anybody.
lists.
That's my suggestion.
Then there's the chance it's gonna be more expensive.
And
We, I know Ben's not for this, but I mean, we can't make multiple bids come in. In the past, we've gone with one. Can we? We can't approve, Alicia, we can't approve something contingent on them submitting like more of a typed out documentation type of bid,
No.
right? This is what we have to
No.
work with because they
Yeah.
submit that, so I thought.
We have to go on the fact that they put it on their letterhead and basically said, we've having this built based on the specs that you submitted to us.
Right.
Yes, the only two options is approve one of these bids as is, or deny both of them and go out again.
Can we just shorten the bid process?
Do we have to leave it open for so long, Alicia?
Yes, it has to run 2 consecutive weeks, at least once a week for 2 consecutive weeks. And opening can't be more than 14 days before the first run.
And how much is it costing us to, or do we just throw it on the website?
No, we have to run it in the paper. I haven't received the invoice from Tara. She's there, so I don't know if she can tell me how much it is.
She's looking, she's looking.
That'll push it down for another month on an order
Mhm.
because it's not gonna be next time, like 2 weeks.
No,
From
it wouldn't be. It'd be the 1st of March before we could open it.
It's $288 total.
Okay, so we'd have to, so there's $500 we spent on advertising.
I don't know. To me, the problem we have is with the people submitting the bids. I mean, Dwayne didn't handwrite that. He didn't tell them to type it all out. There's a chance we only get one and it's gonna be
I
higher.
didn't even think that anybody was gonna bid. Like I say, Lisa told me that Thursday and said that we had no bids. So.
Well, it's just gonna cost us more money the longer we wait. And that, even though you're right, I agree with you, but they did do it to our specifications. So
I don't know,
Happening.
I ain't seen any specifications.
And if they don't, we get the,
This-
truck and
this-
we don't pay for it because they didn't do it by the bid. I mean,
That does it.
it does. If they get the truck in and it's not to our specs, then we don't buy it because they,
Because that's what they said.
Yeah.
It said
it does.
built to the specs of the county.
Yeah, so the reason there's 2 different handwritten notes is because the first one that is not on letterhead, it was just written. I had no idea where it came from. Luckily, they dropped it off in the treasurer's office and Kim recognized who dropped it off. So I called, it was Matt Hood from Country. So I called Matt, told him, I was like, we need something that, that has your name and, what you're bidding on. And so then that's whenever they gave me the one that was
The
just
one with the
handwritten
letterhead.
on letterhead.
You notice on the second one, because it's a different signature than the first one.
It's the same person. I think he just made it to where it was a little bit more
Cooper?
legible. It's Pete Cooper.
Okay,
I think that's his name.
Yeah, that is.
yeah.
Y'all can do what you want. I won't accept it. So I'm out.
Okay.
You just
are
would
there
have
any
to
other-
vote nay. I think you still would have to vote. You just would vote against.
Any other discussion, questions for Dwayne? Thoughts? Any kind of motion?
I mean, Alicia, even though it's not professional, I mean, the way they submitted both of these are within the specs of what we asked, right? I mean, there are 2 pending bids. That
Well,
are
I mean, like you
official.
said, the first one, it does say built to the specs of the county and they included our spec sheet
Right.
that was run in the paper.
So if we go with them, we order one and we get one that's not to those specs, we're not bound to buy that, correct?
Right.
So what is list price of this one we're wanting to bid here?
Well,
So I can
they're
know,
offering
if
to
we're
sell it
voting-
for 51,615.
No,
I don't
what's the
know.
list price?
I don't know. I'm not the dealership.
Without the list price, I can't tell you whether I'm for it or against it.
I've got two purchase prices in front of me that
That's what you have to agree upon. Are you willing to buy it for 51,615? Or
I
for
will not consider buying one for myself
58,300.
unless I see a list price.
What's this? 46,615
after the trade-in.
after the trade.
We haven't even discussed trading it in or putting it at auction, so.
Yeah, tell us what if you want to do the trade-in or not. When I budgeted with trade-in values in mind. This purchase is not a big deal because we could probably sell this and the next purchase I have to make, I've got to have the trade-in money to be able to afford it. So I don't know, we need to decide one of these days if we're gonna trade stuff in or if we're gonna.
Right.
If we're gonna auction it off. or what
Yeah.
we're gonna do.
And it was my understanding that we were always going to, address it as two different transactions.
Yes.
Let's have- Next. $5,000 trade-in.
How many miles is that one that you're trading?
144. That seems pretty good. Is that good? I don't know. I don't know anything about
The
that
truck
now.
runs great, it's mechanical wise, it's in good shape, it's rough. On the outside.
Is that the one here tonight?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah, 144, 2011 model, 144,000 miles.
Any other questions, comments? We gotta have a motion to do something.
I don't know if I'll get a second, but I'll make a motion to throw these two out, go out for bids again.
Here's Okay, well, that motion dies for lack of a second. Do I hear any other motions?
I got a question.
Yeah.
On the timeline, you made your motion, so I couldn't ask it while I was sitting there. On the timeline, how dire is getting this truck in? Like you say, a long time for country.
I'd just be happy to get it here before the next.
The next
budget. We just got one of the trucks last week, literally, that we ordered last January.
Oh. Wow, do we ever see that getting any better?
It's not getting any better right now. The truck was built, I went and checked on it. It was built, sitting at the plant in Mexico. They could pull it up on OnStar. They can see it sitting there, but no shipping.
Right.
Did not get it to the border.
Low boat. Done.
They've been trying to get them to send someone down there.
Mhm.
They
Oh,
didn't volunteer to go do it.
Where are you both through fast?
2 weeks later, you come back with a really good tan and and a truck.
I move to accept the bid from Country Chevrolet in the amount proposed.
Okay, we have a motion. Do I hear a second?
Can I ask a question before there's a second?
Yes, ma'am.
Would that include the trade-in value or are y'all gonna vote on that separately?
That's that question.
I would like to include the trade-in value, but what do y'all think? What's your motion?
Yes, I think we got.
What do you think? Do you want to amend your motion to include the trade-in value or
I really don't know.
do you want
I
to
wanted
do?
to know how well the auction went, but I don't.
Not good, did it?
Did
The
it?
It's
purple,
not even over yet.
It's not over.
Oh,
but last time I looked, we didn't even have any bids.
They're doing fairly well, but the auction's not over yet.
Right. I hadn't checked in a while, so I can't.
All the bidding will happen in the last 2 or 3 hours.
That's true, true.
It's over February 20th.
Okay.
So it would be nice to know how that turns out, but we don't know yet. but so far it looks pretty decent.
I've had hundreds of phone calls all over the United States.
Really?
Yes.
Excluding the trade-in value.
Okay. Okay, so we have a motion to accept the bid minus the trade-in value from Country Chevrolet. Do I hear a second?
A second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? Okay, motion carries.
Thank you.
Right. Thanks. Hey, Dwayne, you also might have a conversation with them and
Definitely going. Yeah, promote that.
all right, item 23 is to consider and or approve any donations to Hutchinson County, and we have one donation by Mrs. Christy Flanagan donated 12 new stuffed animals to the Hutchinson County Sheriff's Office for the deputies to hand out to children during traffic stops. The stuffed animals are valued at $5.98 each with a total of $71.76. So do I hear a motion to accept that donation?
I move to accept the donation from Christy Flanagan to the Sheriff's Department.
I'll second it.
Motion and second. Any further discussion? All in favor? It's very nice of Christy. Item 24, consider and or approve reports from elected or appointed officials required by statute.
Okay, January 2024 reports were submitted by Kelly Ratliff, County Clerk, Tammy McBrayer, District Clerk, Leslie Ford, Justice of the Peace Precinct 1, and Amanda Wassong, Justice of the Peace Precinct 2. We also had Amy Back, County Treasurer, submitted January 2024 financial report. Tax pool rate as of February 5th, 2024 was 5.33%. And then we had Hannah Connor, Extension Agent, and Rochelle Olias, Extension Agent, submitted January 2024 activity and travel reports, along with a newsletter and 4-H happenings.
That's a lot.
That was a lot.
Okay, do I
And I can't
hear a
pronounce my
motion to
name,
accept those
apparently.
reports?
I'll make them. Go ahead.
I move to accept the reports as presented.
Do I hear a second? Gary?
I'll second.
All right. A motion and second. Any further discussion? All in favor? All right, item 25, discussion of county judges and commissioners precinct daily operation. Anything?
I have, we, since the last meeting, Amy and I and the constable and the JP, have been working on the septic concerns of Lake Meredith Harbor, as well as the actual, area. And we actually have a plan, a contract, and some, solutions on procedures and protocols and all of that. I took a webinar, 2 Fridays ago on, dealing with nuisance as well as, septic violations. Been in, contact, and Amy's done a lot of legwork working with, Jeremy. And I think we kind of have a plan. We're meeting today, actually after Commissioner's Court, to go look at those 4 complaints. And, also visited with the city of Fritch and Jerry Langwell, Jeremy and I want to say 1.5 years ago, the city of Fritch set this up. We didn't, but if there were some violations, and they went to the city of Fritch for water, DCEQ stated that the city municipality that provides water or any third party can restrict them from purchasing water until they get in compliance with their septic disposal. And so the city of Fritch still has the protocol set in place. And so we have, like I said, today I'm meeting with Jeremy Bland, and we will visit those 4, but also go over the contract and our policy and procedure on what we do when a complaint comes in, how we address it, and how we file it, and then what's our follow-up. And those are going to be things that Miss Amy's gonna present. She's done a lot of work, legwork on this. And I'd have to say kudos to the treasurer's department because that's not in their job description. They're doing it because they're helping. And so, that's something I'm proud of. And I think we now have a plan, a solution that has taken a while. I know it's taken quite a bit, but I think we now have a working feasible system. And all of that'll come to the court once we work out all the bugs to see kind of what y'all all think. Before anything's signed, sealed, or delivered, the court has to approve all of those things. So anyway,
Thank you for the update.
you're welcome.
Anything else? You all got anything?
We've had problems with Cimarron Road out at Metal Arc. It's been an ongoing thing, been out there 100 times. It's coming apart again, but I've talked to Dwayne. We got a plan to see if we can change that. It's the way the thing was built to start with. The driveways go right up to the road, so that keeps the road from draining well. So whenever you've got pockets of water, that didn't help. It seeps in there and it gets up there, and then the road sponges and comes apart. I get all kinds of complaints there, but we're trying to do something and without spending, freeway money on it and trying to get it done as best we can. So that's all I've had going on besides the regular stuff. The window is fixed over there at the,
Oh, good. Good
yeah.
enough.
Yeah, that was low on my priority list.
That was a
Had
door.
lot of other
Yeah.
things going.
Yeah.
So I told them that, but oh well. But it's fixed now.
Good. Okay. Anything else?
I do. I don't know you.
I was just gonna give a quick kudos to Chico because I got a text over the weekend about a part in the road that needed repaired, and he was moving some stuff on a Saturday up in the north in the whole community, and he went ahead and fixed that on
Awesome.
the Saturday. So much appreciated for that.
Good.
Nancy and I and Ruth have been working on getting, kind of going back to what we talked about with the toilet paper and paper towels. We're looking at agency that will provide the dispensers because our dispensers are falling off the wall or broken at the Fritch clubhouse and library. And so clubhouse, club room and library. And so we're working on that, kind of seeing what some prices would be in regards to that. And Nancy and Delina and all them have been very helpful. We do have some soap dispensers that are, I guess you'd just say adhesive to the wall.
Mhm.
And if the heater comes on for a long time, they just fall off. And so I'm gonna have to drill some pilot hose with, and get those anchored, but I wanted to wait until we had, kind of a plan to see, about this company that will provide the dispensers if we buy the product from them. And so that's kind of what we've been talking about. No decisions have been made. As long as it stays within our supply budget, we should be okay. But if it's not, then we won't do it. So. And that's all. Sorry, I forgot to
No,
say that.
that's good. That's good.
And then one time, no, I'm just joking.
I have a quick report. I just got back last week from the Healthy County Boot Camp, and they went over all of our new platform with the WebMD. It's still kind of confusing. But they did say they would come out to the counties and help walk us through that program if we need them to. So I have kind of a little more of an understanding about it. The new platform that we're on now. Stacy, our wellness coordinator, will be out sometime in the spring to present some type of training to us. And we get the Healthy County Wellness Incentives money from the different categories. They've kind of changed that up this year. Last year, there was a lot on participation, and this year they've kind of reallocated the pie, and we get different money for different things. So we're going to need to work hard on that. And one, still participate, but we've got other things that we're doing very well, like with our incentive and some other things that are really good for Hutchinson County because we're already on board with those. So maybe our dollars will increase. It was a good conference.
Did we ever receive anything from risk management?
Yeah, we did get an award.
Oh, okay.
Yes, we are getting an award,
Yeah, good.
safety
good.
award. Yes.
Why, I'll have to accept that thing.
I'll be there too.
Okay,
Yeah.
you too. Yeah, I don't want. Yeah.
Yep.
Good.
Okay, anything else on precinct daily operation? Okay. All right, the next item on the agenda is item 26, to consider and or approve the sale of struck off tax properties. We had one property at 0 Harbor Drive, Fritch, Texas. Is that you?
Yes,
Okay, and you got that?
yes.
Okay,
I went and looked
All right.
at it. It's exactly as pictured. It's undeveloped. They only, they're asking $350. It appraises for $920. It is undeveloped, in Double Diamond area. And so I moved, or
did everyone got that one, had a chance to look at it?
I don't think anybody else got it.
No.
Oh, I thought I sent it out with all the agenda stuff. Maybe I forgot that. Okay,
I missed.
Like that.
Yeah,
So it's undeveloped?
it is.
yeah,
Okay.
oh, I don't
Looks
know.
like that.
I was thinking I could control that. Here's what it looks like in color.
Yeah, it's just,
Oh, okay, that's a better
a
picture.
lot.
There you go. Now let me turn it.
That-
Oh.
Always hate that.
So, yeah, submitting the offer of $350 has been made by Donald E. and Jan T. Bell of Fritch. And the taxes haven't been paid since 92 and it was struck off in 2000. So do I hear a motion?
Yes, I move to accept the award the bid for $350 as presented.
So
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion on that? All in favor? All right, the next item on the agenda is to move into executive session. However, I think we're going to not do that because I did get an email from Craig. And the two things that we were going to discuss in executive session, he was gathering information on, and he still didn't have all the information he needed. And so he asked us to put that off until the next meeting. So we will skip the executive session today and put that on our next agenda. So if there's not anything else, do I hear a motion to adjourn?
I would like to make a motion to adjourn.
Do I hear a second?
Seconds are hard to come by today.
Second.
Okay.
Motion and second. Any further discussion?
Now you owe me one.
All-
I know.
Meeting adjourned. Thank you, everybody.
On February